Greetings! We finally made it! somehow, against all hope, we managed to defeat the Techno Gremlins finally and get back online here. My video card and I need to have a serious conversation. That's all I can really say about it. It's not in line, and I think it's having a nervous breakdown. I'm not sure. But in the meantime, greetings and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. Let us go around to those folks here gathered and say hello. We will start with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya, and I use she/her pronouns. And I am playing Shah Gamelan, gallant. Whoop! I'm forgetting a word. Gallant something of the Order of Makers. I thought I had it. An established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries. And Shah also uses she/her pronouns.
Excellent. No, can't blame anyone for if there's any stumbling about now. We're so many things happening. And let's move on to Wilde. Hi, Wilde.
Yes, hi, I'm Wilde Engineer, he, they pronouns, and I am playing Shantano, an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments. They use they, them pronouns.
Coolness. And Arras, hello.
Hello, I am Arras, or Animus Panthera, she/her pronouns, and today I am going to be playing Aroshka Ruzik, who is an aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, but who used to be a Vance.
Indeed.
Also uses she/her pronouns.
Excellent. Hi, Anino.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Anino. I'll be playing Mac the Husk, an itinerant enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica, who provides a vessel for spirits.
Excellent. So, where are we? Like we do with most games on this channel, we are using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of the players, any of them can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we will back up and do something else. If something happens that they're okay having in the game, but they don't want a graphic description of it, then they can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it, or we'll put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if you're exploring a topic or area of roleplay that's particularly intense for you, but you want to keep going, you can put an O in the chat to let us know that you're okay and that we're good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we are moving into a difficult topic, or we say or we do something and then think, well, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then we can all respond to that and let us know if we're still doing okay. And now, Gamery. So, I believe when we last left off, you had gone to a thing. Yeah, you'd basically just gone to the restaurant and were hanging out. And some time has passed since then. Because you were out dining with a couple of folks from the party. You were chatting with Charles Abernathy. And with the other person from the party, who's Oriah, I believe was her name, the combination person jellyfish spirit. I really need to get my seafaring creatures straight in my head. They all for some reason mash together, and that's not good. I'm from the beach, but she who writes the travel logs. And so you had gotten to hang out for a while doing that. At some point later on, Mac and Shantano went on a delightful jaunt to the gardens to try to find spirits, and then they went up into the Silver Hill neighborhood and stuff happened. So we're going to have... I think we're going to have you all meeting back, unless there is anything you would like to do or take care of or have happened with either of those NPCs beforehand. So does anyone have anything they want to make sure we get in here before we launch into the next time you folks meet?
No, I don't think so. I know that Shaw would have talked to everybody over food about the idea of going to the gold at some point, but that she would want to get some more information together, but that there was this really cool statue thing that you had to go past, and that we might be able to get past by handing over this. I don't remember what it was. Was it an Elderbrin? Yeah, this Elderbrin that we have in a stasis chamber.
Yeah. Well, let's actually go ahead and pull that in then, since that actually would be good to discuss. Can we say that that's going to happen? That discussion is going to be taking place at the. Well, we can do it one of two ways. We can either just say it's happening at the restaurant and then jump ahead, or we can say you've all met again somewhere.
We can have all met again. That's fine. It doesn't have to happen in the restaurant.
That's cool. Arashka, was there anything else you wanted to make sure we took care of before we do the meet again? Okay, can't hear you.
No.
Excellent. Good. I mean, I could tell what the answer was, but then tech. Cool. All right, so where are you folks meeting?
Ooh, do we want to meet at the poetry?
Poetry
Yeah, let's
night?
go listen to some slam poets.
Awesome. Okay.
Was there anywhere else that we haven't gone yet that people would want to meet at?
No. I mean, I think that's kind of the side of town that we've been on. It's fine with me.
Oh, hey, thank you for the subscription. Hey.
I like that we have beware the salad.
We do need to beware of the salad. It's very important.
I don't know, sure.
Salad's dangerous. Nice. So I take it we're meeting up at the Broken Mirror. Is that what's happening?
Sounds like it.
All right. There is a performer tonight who is apparently pretty well known. Is just sort of occasionally they're doing this thing where they suddenly show up sometimes at smaller venues. This is one of those nights. This is Lumi Arya the Versifier. So you basically hear this as you're just sort of this individual that you're seeing here, who is not described. So I'm just going to assume they look different every time. Right now, I'm going to say that they are currently there's this piece of gauze that is in constant orbit around a humanoid figure that actually just looks shaded behind it because you can never quite see any one. It's a very big piece of gauze, right? So you can't actually see the person underneath it, as it's just sort of constantly whipping around them.
It's a she ghost.
It could be. You can tell there's a humanoid person-looking thing in there. It's, you can see an outline. And the lights are kind of coming down on it, a few colored lights, and so it's pretty shifting and dramatic. And you hear them saying, autumn, where simultaneity and version collide. You speak out your ninth mouth, weep tales of the jagged wing moth child, circle the stars with chalk. Listen. Forget your own flowers and flickers, your hungers and hopes. You are feeding the people, and your words hail like rain into their open-mouthed faces until they are full, filled, and you find yourself again empty. Listen. They don't mean to eat you up. They don't know this poem is about them, the maw of their jaw marrowing you to pith. They don't hear what you hear with their clapping palms, their groaning bellies, vowels breaking neath teeth and tongue. The world is full of doors, words, world suns, fucking magic. Who knows where to go and how, what voice, what song, what key turns this lock to life? Hold out your hand and they will fill it back with bones. And there are some people clapping and snapping and what have you throughout the whole thing. And they bow, and then they just sort of wander off for a moment. And they're guest poet tonight, so they actually have some more things they're going to do. But they have to take a break between each one for a moment because that is their way. And it's weird because for a little while. The people, like in the front few rows, are all repeating things from that poem. It's like a kind of a weird mimetic thing going on in their heads. But basically, yeah, they do verses of that type, apparently. And so that's kind of the backdrop to what you're doing. Shadow, can you remind me of the name of the proprietor here? Do you remember?
I have it here. So...
Well, because they're going to kind of. Ah, there it is. I don't have the name. I just have a description of them. They're wearing a beret. They have round spectacles. They're carrying an eternal cigarette.
Is it like the architect? Is he just called the proprietor?
It could be. I don't know. It's like the foreman in that respect.
Oh, the foreman.
So the proprietor just sort of comes around, and as this is going on, just got his cigarette holder in his mouth and just sort of looking. It's like, amazing when we get those. Can I get you anything, folks?
Get those whats?
The verses from Lumiaria. It's something we don't get around here, except they don't come around here except maybe a couple times a year. And it's always a pleasure when they do it.
It's quite a good turnout tonight.
Yeah, word got out. Can I get you folks refresh? Any more tea or coffee or anything like that? We have Italian sodas.
You guys serve alcohol. I'm going to definitely need something a little more stronger than to deal with all of this poetry. And he's just going to be sitting there.
I got laudanum if you would like it. Table. Oh, wait. No. I have a prop. I got laudanum if you would like it.
Will that make this poetry? Will that make this poetry reading more palpable?
I don't know. It'll either be more palpable or less palpable. Might get further into your head. It's hard to say. It just depends on what you're paying attention to.
That would be absolutely nothing. So give me a double of whatever it is.
Right. Double nothing. Gotcha.
Well, maybe if you read the Book of Joy, you might be able to appreciate some of it, Mac.
It's a good book.
Yes, you can experience everyone else's joy and why they like it.
Anyone else want anything? Any other orders? Anything?
I'll have a chamomile tea, please.
Chamomile tea, coming right up.
I will indeed have an Italian soda.
What color?
Purple.
Purple is Purple's a good one. Okay. And he just sort of glances at Shantano because it's one of those... I forget if Shantano actually pays or not. Or if Shantano just helps around the place from time to time.
I think occasionally Shantano pays, but for the most part, their transactions usually aren't for beverages. So
yeah.
So for this one, they would be paying.
Okay. And so it sort of glances then just sort of at you uncertainly. Usual?
Black tea this time.
Black tea. All right, coming right up. Be right back.
And I mean, make it a thick one.
Massive black tea, understood. I'll grab that and you can get on with your conversating. He wanders off into the back. Oh God, I can see again. Okay.
Now I'm imagining drinking a thick black tea. It's just...
So if there's no poetry going on...
yeah, you've got a minute before
Shaw's going to pull out
resumes.
one of the fruits that she got from the gold and set it on the table and say, look, when I left the party, I went through this place, then I'm pretty sure it was the gold, but there were these trees there, and the trees like bloom, and then the fruit grows, and then they carry through and fall off the tree, but in this sort of endlessly rapid cycle, but you can grab them off the tree, and if you move far enough from the tree, they don't, they stay okay. And I took some seeds from one, and I'm trying to grow some, but I don't know how that's going to work out. But I kind of want to go back. But there was this statue there, who I guess is like the keeper of the place to get into it, and she sort of indicated that it was kind of difficult to get past her. But it seems like the Elderbrin people at the party who were the problem, that they are, a problem for her as well. And we have one in the stasis chamber, and I was thinking if we all went together, maybe we could bring this Elderbrin to her, and then she would let us go in and explore around.
Interesting.
Are you saying we're trading a prisoner in order for a personal favor to you?
I mean, we're not trading a prisoner for a personal favor to me. I am taking the prisoner I caught to her, and I am inviting you to come with.
Well, I suppose that's a better distinction.
But if you don't want to come with, that's fine.
I want to go.
It was just so... I mean, everything here is kind of amazing, but it was just so amazing and changing and mysterious and rhythmic.
Related to adventures, I believe Mac and I saw this very friendly spirit that told us that things might be coming to an end soon, and the person we're supposed to see about it is kind of, their street disappeared. But your fruit thing sounds real fun. Let's go do that.
Wait,
what? No. Tell me more about the fruit.
Well, Roshka's gonna be like, wait, a street disappeared? Do we know?
I don't know if it... I don't think it so much as disappeared. The way the cat had explained it to us was that the street was erased from the reality of everyone within that locality. Oh my God, I'm rhyming.
I told you about the telescope, right?
that it
the
was...
telescope that told me to leave. Oh, I looked through the telescope before it told me to leave. Well, I looked through a telescope. There's a bunch of telescopes, and I also saw a missing street.
Oh. Wait, how
Did
you
you
missing?
see him? How do you see a missing street?
Well, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but I felt like I knew it should be there, but it wasn't.
Hmm.
Did you
Okay, so the
try?
cat wasn't sane. That's good to know that its story kind of jibes with what Aroshka is describing.
I think I've met that cat.
Oh,
Is it a
yeah.
talking cat?
Well, all the cats I've met so far are talking, but this one actually does know you. Her name is Blue, and she
Yes.
eat the scented birds that live around your property.
Yes, I've been trying to get her to eat fish instead, but the fish that I have in my house are dead, and she finds them very boring. So, I was going to look for gold. And anyway, did you two try avoiding the street?
We tried searching for the street, looking in between the streets.
I tried to talk to or find any sort of spirits to direct me to the street and see if anything was going on, but I got attacked. Then I got blacked out. And then
Oh, is that what happened?
That's upsetting.
it was.
Are you okay?
I think so. Shantano was of no help, but yeah.
Excuse me for searching.
Did you leave him to get attacked while you were searching?
No, he was right behind me. And all of a sudden he just yelled out and was passed out, then started talking to this cat.
Okay.
I mean, I try not to talk to the cats, but I thought it was something that he did all the time.
I like
There wasn't
Blue.
anybody else around, so yeah. I had to pay Blue 2 fish in order to get this information.
Did you give her living fish or dead fish?
Gave her fish from the seafood market.
Oh.
It was tilapia, but I told her it was Chilean sea bass.
Did she know you were lying?
Might have suspected. Yeah, it fooled a lot of people back in the shadow, so.
So are we going to go do this fruit thing?
Well, or we could go find this missing street by trying not to find it. Or maybe we could go and look for the entrance to the gold, and in the process we'll find the street instead.
Oh. Or we can steal the telescope.
Or we could steal the telescope.
I'm not
I don't
sure
think
I
we
know
should
how
steal
to
the
get back to the telescope.
We could try to go back to the telescope.
We could try to go back to the telescope, although there was this really creepy face, and the telescope did tell me to leave.
You're not going to let a telescope bully you around, are you, Aroshka?
I mean, I regularly listen to objects, less intimidating than a giant telescope, so...
But the telescope can't move.
So we'll
I
just...
don't think the telescope was the danger. I think the telescope was trying to protect me from something. But okay. We can try to go back if you want. I just don't know if I can get there. I don't know how I got there in the first place.
strength in numbers, we can overpower that telescope. There's 4 of us and only 1 telescope. What's the worst that could happen?
I don't think the telescope is the problem, but sure, we can try and fight whatever it is that's coming to the telescope room.
I do actually prefer to avoid too much battle, if possible.
Well, if we find a street, you'd probably like my friend Shaw. He was a researcher.
Really?
Yeah. He's probably looking up a lot of different magics. That might be why the street's missing, actually.
Oh.
You might know something.
Do you think he hid the street, or do you think someone else hid the street?
Oof.
Blue seemed to think that someone took great pains to hide the street because it didn't want anyone else to find what answers might lie within. But if this telescope can actually see the street, maybe it's what we need to access it.
I thought Aroshka was indicating that it just showed that it wasn't there.
I didn't see that it wasn't there. I just felt that there was one and that it wasn't there.
I think we should try to not look for it. I think we should try to not find it. Maybe we should drink the laudanum and then try to not find it. But I do think that the trick is going to be, like, you know, sometimes you can see things only if they're at the side of you. I do think the trick is going to be to not look for it directly.
Or how you only find what you're looking for when you stop looking for it.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a really bad love story. But aren't we technically not looking for it right now?
But we're not looking for it. We're just sort of talking about the possibility of not looking. I'm confused now.
So are we just going to just sit here and continue to listen to questionable poetry?
No, we should probably go. I've already felt the confusion.
Here's your double nothing. And he sets a big glass, a big sort of pint glass down in front of Mac. Is
it literally nothing? Is it like an empty glass?
It looks like an empty glass, but you heard it slosh when he set it down. And chamomile tea.
Thank you.
And a purple Italian soda, and a massive black tea. It's in a very tall container.
I'm guessing it's a thick black tea. It's like the consistency of Jell-O.
A little bit, yeah.
I think that's the first tea that I ever thought that you needed a knife and fork to drink it.
Does the purple soda taste like purple?
Kind of.
It's true, he didn't ask me what flavor I wanted. Only what color.
I tasted it, I was like, oh, that's only imitation purple.
It's something reminiscent of grape without actually being grape. It's kind of like the idea of grape.
So basically, you're saying you were served a fraudulent drink. It's not actually Italian soda. It's
Oh no, it's speaking Italian to you.
Wow.
But well, to Aroshka, it's Aroshka's the only one who can hear it. But
It's true.
So I'll drink my tea.
So how do we go about not looking for something?
What if we just started walking in the opposite direction of it?
What if we tried to count every other street in the neighborhood, but not that one?
I'm wondering, does going about with the intention of not finding something constitute trying to find it?
I don't know.
God, this is like my college philosophy class all over again.
There needs to be something that makes us want to avoid it.
I don't really feel like getting hit by that, whatever it is that hit me again.
Seems like a good reason.
Maybe if we just try to go to the gold, we might end up there at the street.
Seems like a reasonable idea.
Yeah, let's go check out the fruit.
And then if we don't, then maybe someone in the gold can tell us how to not look for things.
Sounds like a not plan.
Best plans are unplanned.
So I guess after we finish our tea, how hard is it going to be for me to get my dolly to go over there? The cart. I guess actually I can leave everybody here and go by my house and get the cart that I need to move because that was the reason I didn't go right away.
Yeah. The oh, that's right. And you've got the key to get in there.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't think it would be too tough to move the thing. It's when it's in the mine, it's built for that. Once you get it out onto the street, as long as you take the it's mostly like either paved or cobblestone. It'll be a little rough on the cobblestones, but
right.
And Shantano could go help.
All right. Well, I was going to say I'd down my tea and say that I'd meet you guys at the between the Symphonic Garden and the Animal Statue Garden, because that will be where our door is. And then we go retrieve this cart.
All right.
Without incident, or is there going to be some sort
of... I know. I'm presuming that nod means, yes, we have done it, and all is magical.
So on the way... no, you... No, you get the cart.
Okay.
It's not a big deal. Do you all go to the mine to get the? So you all meet her. You all meet Shaw up in the sort of that archway between the Animal Statue Garden and the Symphonic Garden.
Yes.
Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is our plan. Okay.
It's our not plan.
Yeah. That's your non-plan. That's your anti-plan. Okay. You basically head in. Nothing seems too terribly out of the ordinary when you do this. You go and you get your cart out from the mine. You do note, what time of day is it, I wonder?
It'd probably be closer to late afternoon, night, especially if this was the important band that we just saw, or the important poets.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's fairly quiet right now, in the east part of the neighborhood. It's more the residential areas. You're heading in and you're heading back, and you see that the bulk store and the home goods store are still open, but they're going to probably close soon. You wheel the cart out under the things that look like power lines but are not power lines, past the rocket stuck in the middle of the street, up past the hostel to the entrance to the Symphonic Garden, where everything is kind of coming at you in tones, as the plants kind of are moving in the breeze and gently making notes as they do. You can get around to there without going through the center of the Symphonic Garden, so you don't have to worry about that. You come around, up a side path, and you find it's basically this big stone archway in a stone wall that separates the Animal Statue Garden from the Symphonic Garden.
I pull out the key I was given. Is there a place to put it?
So you step sort of to the left, I believe it was, of the the archway, where you have all these. These are large stones that make up this this wall. These sort of that are, and sort of as you pull the key out, one of the stones kind of wobbles, and if you start moving the key toward it, you know that the stones kind of start rearranging themselves.
Cool.
And there is a very broad kind of... looks like one of those roll-up garage doors. And there's a handle and with a sort of a knob on it, and on that knob is a keyhole. Okay, you do that. And then you sort of realize you're going to have to lift it up. And you hear the accompanying sort of thing on rollers as the this wooden door retreats up into the archway. And you are looking beyond into what looks like kind of a weird sort of hotel ballroom with video games in it, basically. So sort of arcade cabinets and what have you.
Wow, Shadow Me would have loved this place.
So do we just go in, or?
Yes. Push the cart through.
As you're going through, you make it through. You make it through, and you sort of wheel the thing in. You see there are people in here. They're kind of there's some people at the different video game cabinets playing different games, and then you see along one wall, or near one wall, there are these round pods. That's a few of which have people in them.
Oh, are they the same stasis chambers I saw before, or?
Yes, they are.
So I'll go look in all of them until I see the one with the angry Elderbrin.
Yeah, you find him pretty quick. He's like kind of up near the window, so you remember kind of where he was.
Yeah.
Mac is just going to tap on the window a little bit and give a wave. How's it going? Good to see you again.
Yeah, he's in stasis. He's not moving.
I know. That's why.
Can they hear us when they're like that?
I don't know. I've never been in stasis. Have you? Or at least not that I remember. Oh, let's move him onto the cart.
All right. Remember to lift with your knees.
Okay, so you're taking the pod.
Yep.
And okay. So
I'm surprised no one's bother. He's gonna look. Mac is gonna look around and see if anyone's watching them just waltz off with this pod.
We were given permission.
I was given a key.
I know, but I'm fairly certain that we are people of some renown and are going to attract attention.
a couple of people just are kind of watching you strangely, but it's and more the longer you do, and the more as when you actually start lifting the pod, a few more people are coming in. Just clusters of people of various shapes and sizes just sort of wandered in, and they're like.
As people look at us, I just turn, "Oh, lovely party, isn't it? It's delightful to see you."
Do you need a hand with that?
We have a winch. We're okay. But thank you so much.
Okay.
Just be careful of assassins. They tend to come at parties. What?
I said, so true.
Yes.
And then they recognize you, and it's like, oh god. And the one that was asking, that said that, just immediately turns and bolts from the room.
They recognize which one, me or
You,
Shaw?
yes, you.
Oh, okay. Like, oh, what an overreaction. I mean, it's not like there's any assassins here now. Well, except for the one we're taking now.
X just gonna be like, not the time or place. Let's just get out of here before we attract any more undue attention.
I think that's a good plan. So we'll tie this thing down to the cart somehow. And
Yes, yeah. So you get it. You lash the thing down.
Mac is going to take his jacket off and throw it over the pod to cover it as much as he can.
we're very
Start rolling.
sneaky.
Trying to be
Yeah,
subtle.
and roll up his sleeves a little bit just to, in case something were to go down.
So yeah, you basically you're wheeling this pod out. I think that as this is happening, people are still kind of giving you strange looks, but no one tries to stop you. And you wheel it out into the garden. So you're just sort of emerging from the garden wall with a big stasis pod on a.
So could we
On a cart.
try different exits from the party? Because before it has taken us to through like adjacent paths, different suns, to see if that will get us to the gold, or do we have?
Well, remember when you did that, you weren't actually in the gold, though. That's the only thing.
Right.
You were projected into it, so it didn't actually send you there. So that's the question. I mean, if you want to try for that, for the being projected again, you certainly can. But it will not be you will not actually physically be there.
Right.
You'll be able to interact with it some. Again, you were able to carry away objects, things like that, but. And again, this is Vance magic, so it's hard to say exactly what the spell is. But best guess, there's probably a size limitation in there somewhere. There's probably I don't think you can drop someone off there. I don't think you can go and drop the pod off, and you don't think that'll stick necessarily. In other words, or rather, you can't from the party. Rather, you'd have to actually probably go to the gold. You think?
So how do we get to the gold?
Well, I just went out the door from the party and ended up there. So I was hoping that was going to work, but on second thought, I'm not sure that's actually the best plan. And this not a plan might be more of a not a plan than I had originally thought.
The ways that are commonly known to get to different suns is using the ships. There are basically sun ships that go back and forth, so you would have to go up to the harbor, which is there's a harbor in Saturnine. You can get in there, just basically buying tickets and going there. Then whatever sun you're disembarking at, you actually have to then deal with the Guardian in order to be let in if you've never been in there before. So there's that. That's one way. And actually, though, you folks have heard about, there are people in around, and you think there's actually one up in the neighborhood to the north that has travel spells that might be able to get you there. You folks have been around long enough. You remember that being a thing, that there was a guy at a store up in Silver Hill that does that.
Well, the thing, Chantal would be like, "Oh, I did pick something up from the last time I interacted with an Elderbrin. They do take on jobs. Perhaps if we hire one, they could take us to it.
I know an
Yeah.
Elderbrin.
No, I don't know an Elderbrin, but
Oh, I do. I know an
Oh.
Elderbrin, but I like him, so you have to be nice to him.
well,
When
I've-
have we not been polite?
I think we're very nice.
yes,
I,
and I see no reason to want to murder him. So
That in mind.
Shaw turns around and Shaw says, probably it's best if you don't just bring it up, the murdering thing. I think if you bring it up, it makes people uncomfortable.
maybe you should just let Shaw and I do the talking.
fine.
Do you think your Elderbrin would know a way for us to get there?
He might. He's never spoken about himself before, by which I mean to say he's never spoken before. He might be a mime,
Oh.
but he listens really good.
Maybe an Elderbrin who can speak is actually ideal.
You don't
I
think
mean-
you would object to the fact that we have an Elderbrin in this pod, do you?
Do we need to bring that Elderbrin with us?
Well, I mean, if he's going to guide us into the goal.
That's true. I don't know. We could ask. I don't think he necessarily has a problem with criminals being punished. Guy was an assassin, right?
We're not even necessarily punishing him. We're just taking him back to the other person who he was causing trouble for.
Yeah.
I mean, we could leave them in the mine and go talk to your friend and then go back and get him.
We could introduce the idea of our prisoner and not just show up with an Elderbrin in a box.
I mean, maybe
Pod.
that might be a more sound, not a plan.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Shaw, do you have any cages that could hide what's inside?
I do.
Didn't we
But
determine this Elderbrin was too powerful for that?
It well, and then I say I don't have a way to understand what the levels of different characters are, and so I don't actually know whether or not I can do it. I do know now that I can up my forte by spending extra bene, which would technically let me capture him into the Galler's cage, but I don't know how many that would be, and I don't know if that means I should just guess. And I also don't know, can I capture something from the stasis the stasis chamber into my cage?
So a couple of things. First off, I think it's reasonable to assume, having interacted with these Elderbrin, that you kind of have an idea of the, not like numbers level, but the sort of the level of chutzpah they possess, and as necessary to and the therefore the necessary level of counter chutzpah that you need to build into your cages.
Right.
And so you can, at the very least, have,
It's a very technical magic term.
yes, it is. It's a technical term. It's an ancient arcane term, counter chutzpah, and that allows you to, deal with it. So you would know roughly, kind of in mechanical terms, how many bene you would need, or how many, what that level you would
Okay.
need to hit, and that level that you would need to hit is 3.
Oh. Well, I
And
mean,
I think you're sitting at 2, so it's like for that, if I remember right.
that's true. I mean, I could take an action to recover. And then that would give me 3.
Also, I think enough time has probably passed. At this point,
all
you
of our
probably
pools
yeah,
should have
everybody, yeah, your pools are
refreshed.
filled back up again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've had time pass. It's
So
like
I
at
have-
least the next day. So
So I have 3 sorcery, and it's a level. So it automatically is a level 1. So I automatically spend 1 sorcery to be at a level 1, but I can spend additional ones to make it higher, and it has to be higher than the level of the critter. So if I spent my 3 sorcery and 1 sortilege, that would give me 4.
yeah, so.
So the other question is, can I do it while it's in the stasis chamber so that if I fail, it doesn't...
That's kind of the issue. See, the thing is, it doesn't exist while it's in the stasis chamber, technically. Time is not in there. There's no time in that box. So it can't exist. It's in a state.
Okay. So then what I will say is, well, I could technically put it in a cage, but we'd have to open the stasis chamber, and I'm not 100% sure that it's going to work.
Yeah.
I think we should save our energy.
For pushing the cage or pushing the stasis chamber instead?
Well, I just don't want to use up all of our magic before we know what we're getting into once we get into the gold. There's no telling what kind of state we might be in once we
I
are
suppose
under
that's-
a different sun. So maybe it would be better to just park this thing in your mind for now, and then go talk to that mime and see if we can get
All right.
to where we need to go. Sound fair? Sound fair?
Yes.
Works.
And then if it turns out to be an impediment to us carrying it there, then we can cage it. I would like to try.
All right.
Okay. So we push this thing out to the mine.
Do you actually have a track for this mine cart?
Oh, we'll take it down on the elevator.
Oh, okay. I just thought it would be fun if, we were to be able to put this on a track and ride it down.
Oh,
We have 2 pieces of track. We lay one in front of the other as we go along.
But I suppose an elevator works too.
it sounds hazardous. So I will put it down there, and I'll ask my invisible servants in the house to, don't clean this up, don't open this, just leave it be, and its job is to not change.
There is one thing I need to specify, kind of, as you're doing this. And I'll say, actually, we'll say this is, we'll do it after. That's fine. So you all head, does everyone head into the mine, or is it just Shah?
Would Shaw
I-
want people to go?
Yeah, I would absolutely invite people in. It
Excellent.
would be polite.
What did you dream about last night? Or rather, what do they see that you dreamt about last night?
I think that, so you come in and it starts off as like a remarkably normal set of furniture, but inside this big carved out mine. But then it's a little disturbing because there's like every so often there's just big bunches of spiders that will like move and like crawl down over something and the other way, and then they disappear into the rocks, and then they like come out of another crack in the rocks, and like it's just this like mass of spiders that runs across and runs over. Please pardon the spiders. It was a restless night.
couldn't have dreamed of marshmallows.
No, I did dream of kittens once. It was stunning. Usually I have the housekeepers, clean up after the dreams, but these ones just, spider dreams. They just keep coming.
That can't mean anything.
Fantastic.
So do you have a place where you want to keep the your guest?
I think I'll keep him in the living room.
Excellent. He'll look very good there.
Yes.
He'll offset the spider webs very nicely.
Yes. Yes. I mean, and hopefully I'll dream about something better and there won't be any spider webs in the morning.
One can but hope. So, as you come back up out of the mine, I do want to point out something you're going to kind of notice. You were sort of busy with the cart and the business of getting the cart and dealing with the cart. And so you hadn't really bothered to glance, but as you are coming out, and there are more of you here, and it takes a little longer to get off the elevator and walk out of the mine, you're gonna notice, anyone who's been here before, this part of the neighborhood, that the tower next door is not moving.
Oh.
It's like completely stopped.
Yes,
Apparently there are cats nearby.
Is it blue? I look up at the tower and say, it hasn't been moving very much, but that's even more still.
That's unusual, isn't it?
The foreman is working on something right now, and I'm working on something to help him with what he's working, but I haven't been able to complete it yet.
Oh, so you're on speaking terms now.
Well, yes.
Wonderful. Has he showed you how to traverse the rooms?
No, we just had coffee in the kitchen. But perhaps when he's done with his project, maybe I could have a small party and you could come and he could come and the two of you could meet.
That would be wonderful.
Oh, glorious networking.
I still have one more coin. I could invite someone as well.
Oh, nah, we'll talk.
Maybe for another time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I swear, it's like that coin is burning a hole in your pocket or something.
I know.
I have a message to give them. Just have to figure out when to give it to them.
Mac's gonna look around, see if he can spot any spirits that might be lingering around the Jenga tower.
Around the Jenga tower? Okay. Let's do a looking for spirits roll here, because it is... Yeah. So I kind of need to figure it out. Well, actually, I haven't really been making you roll to look for spirits before, have I? I'm
No,
going to draw a card.
Oh.
Why don't we actually play this game? Here we go.
Wow.
I'm going to draw
I don't know
a
if that's
card.
gonna be good or better or worse.
I don't know either, but I am excited to find out. Let's see. Okay. Oh my god! No. So...
Really trying to fake us out today.
The card is... Am I? The card's the Forbidden Game. I think we've had this card before. It's the Two of Notions. Blue magic is up, red magic is down. Yeah, I think we did have this before, so I won't go over the whole thing. Which, strangely enough, it's appropriate to this tower. Because, yeah, okay. Yeah, you see something that is like a spirit. There is a, this is more of sort of an idea form type thing, so it's probably from the blue. That type of spirit. And, it's this strange sort of shifting. This is one of those really weird ones. It's, it looks kind of like a game of Tetris. If the...
I love Tetris.
Well, yeah, if all of the blocks were the same blocks and it's just changing in and of itself. So it's like a game of Tetris, a three-dimensional game of Tetris that's swallowing itself, as it were. Like the line piece becomes the L piece, becomes the square, becomes the S piece, that kind of thing. It kaleidoscopes through different forms as it's sort of drifting around this building. Did we establish if you're the only person who can see the spirits when this is going on, or if this is, or if spirits are seen by everyone? I don't know if we mentioned
Honestly,
that.
I'm not even sure.
So I'm going to say that you just happen to be able to detect them. But I think probably people can see them if they concentrate. So it's one of those things where it's not like an exclusive thing necessarily. You just have a special relationship with spirits per se. So you have.
I think that unless other people have a specific power or specific training, they can't actually converse with spirits. Whereas a Goetic does have the ability to converse with most obscure ones.
Yeah, some are easier. I would say some are easier to talk to than others. Some kind of are set up to be able to talk to. Like the thing in the pool that you met last time can talk to anybody it wants to.
Sure.
This thing, it probably would have to be. It would probably have to be you doing it. Arashka might be able to, maybe, but
I can touch it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to touch this one, though.
I didn't say I was going to. I just said if I could touch it, I could probably. Speaking is a bit of a generous term. More like I hear some words. You can talk to me.
Right, so Max is gonna call out, "Hey, excuse me, I have some questions for you."
Okay. So this thing just sort of keeps circling around, and it slows down a little bit as it is doing so. And it says, and you hear it just sort of how close are you?
I'll get within, a respectable distance of 5 to 10 feet, maybe.
Yeah, this thing is fairly big. It's maybe almost like a story high as it's circling around. And as it comes back around, it will kind of indicate to you, you'll have to walk with me if you want to hold a conversation because I can't stop.
Oh, all right. Let's walk and talk then.
Excellent. That's so Aaron Sorkin is called in to write the next scene. They get the dolly out and they wheel the dolly out of the mine and they put the camera on it and they go, okay. So you folks are all kind of aware now he's talking to something. They're talking to something. And so as you're kind of following it around, it's sort of shifting back and forth different forms as it's rotating around this thing, and says, "All right, what do you need?"
Just I had some curious questions about this foreman's tower here. It's not moving. Is there
Yes.
an issue
Noticed
with the
that, did
structure?
you? Full points. What? Is there... oh, you want to know why it's not moving?
Yes, that's. Is this something that people should be concerned about?
I don't know. Do you like the foreman?
I like this area enough that it should be kept intact as much as possible.
Ah, that's why I'm here.
You're keeping this intact?
I am. That's why I have to keep moving.
What do you call yourself? Yeah.
Curses! That's not its name.
It's a good name.
It is a good name. It's it takes a moment because it's trying to it's sort of having to do some calculations. And says, "Oh, I'm Switch."
Butch, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Mac.
I'd shake,
wonder if
but
I were-
kind of busy.
Yeah. I wonder if I were
Holding
to
up
host
this
you.
building.
I wonder if I were to host you, would I get control over this building?
I really wouldn't recommend trying that. I see what you mean, though. It would, but
Sorry.
I'd prefer you not, because I imagine it would be rather like, how would you see something like this? Trying to pick up a penny with a workman's glove on.
Fair enough. Wait, are you calling me a glove?
No, sir, someone of your ilk is clearly a gauntlet.
I suppose I shall accept this. Anyway, is there something that's making this building more challenging for you to maintain its integrity?
Oh, yes, the foreman's gone.
What?
So, the foreman's gone, you say? And
Yes.
you're going to say that loud enough for a shot to hear that.
Well, they can't. They can't understand the spirit, can they? Or is that?
Oh, am I speaking in the spirit's tongue, or am I just,
I
have
kind of
some-
figured you were.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You have the ability to communicate with spirits, so it's like.
Okay, so he's gonna do that. This is gone. Gone to where?
When he left, he said he was going to try to find some answers. Seemed troubled by something, and he seemed a little bit. I don't know. He seemed a little bit sort of as you're rotating. And this whole conversation, you're walking around the building multiple times. Says no, as he seemed like he was doing a little bit better the last couple of days. But he's been preoccupied a lot by something. And he said that when he was going out yesterday, that he was going to try to find some answers. And I was just like, oh, great. He's going off the deep end again. because he's been getting a little peculiar lately, and it's one of those odd things that it's hard to kind of gauge, because he's never really done that before prior to the last few months, last few weeks. And no, he said he was heading back off to find answers, and I assume that means he was heading sort of off west again. I think off to that. I think he went to that place where they speak the words over and over again. That thing where they do the what do you call that? Poetry. So he did that at some point. I assume he was going back there. He was going in that direction anyway. But he's been wandering around that part of town a lot, I hear. Or that part of the neighborhood, I hear. Sort of hanging out in the places that the tourists have been. Maybe he went to. Maybe he was going to go out to where the fair is, or maybe the circus.
Sorry, the circus, the night circus?
Could have been. He's talked about all those places before.
Oy. And you haven't heard from him at all?
Nope, not the last day or so, which is unfortunate because I have things I would like to be doing other than holding a building up.
How long do you think you can hold this up?
Oh, I can do this for a long time if I have to, but I'd really rather not have to.
Fine. Is there anything that you have or know of that I can use to help track down this foreman?
Well, he doesn't have like a. Damn it! All of the jokes I could think to put in here are modern, and do not fit with this setting. He doesn't have a signal tracer on him or anything like that.
Well,
It's
no, but he's probably someone of some power to have crafted such a nutty structure.
Oh, certainly.
I mean, is there something, and power usually has a sort of signature to it, so is there anything of his around here that we might be able to use that use some of his considerable talent?
Oh, you want something of his with his signature on it. Got you. Yes, any of his stuff might do. That one there walked out with a little bit of his stuff, I think, a little earlier. And he's going to now switch to... he's now going to switch to local language, the truth language. I believe that's the name of the language, I think. Maybe? I can't remember anymore. I'm confusing everything. Or was that Numenera? It's all gone. Anyway, he switches to the language that everyone understands. And so this voice kind of echoes out. Shah Gamelan.
Yeah, yes.
This is the voice of Switch.
Hello, hello, Switch.
Do you have some of the foreman's stuff?
Put my hands on my hips. Well, I didn't take anything, if that's what you're implying. He gave me 2 crystals that I'm using to make something for us.
Yeah, those would probably have his signature on it.
But
His energy signature. That might work. He's in the building long enough.
Very well. Is there anything else that I should know before I head off and fetch the foreman for you?
Well, don't sound so put out that you're trying to save the neighborhood. I mean, it's a terrible burden, but somebody has to do it, I guess. I mean, I would know.
Look, there's a lot of things going on right now. Yeah.
I can
would
do
like
this
to-
for a while. It's not any skin off my nose, but I can only be doing this while he's gone.
Fine. So we'll
So,
trade favors then. Maybe
I'll
you'll owe me. I'll find the foreman. You'll owe me a favor.
How about you find the foreman, this building doesn't fall down? That sounds great, doesn't it? That sounds great to me.
I mean, sure it does, but because if it does fall down, it's your fault.
And it pauses for a second, and you hear a rumble, and he says, "Say that again."
Sorry, I'm saying it's your responsibility if this building falls.
Making friends.
I don't know if I can work. I don't know if I can work in a stressful environment like this. This is very off-putting. This is very unfortunate that I seem to be being put on the defensive in this way by someone from whom I do not appreciate it, and you can see some of the top bricks starting to tremble.
He's gone back to speaking the spirit language.
He's still speaking English, or he's still speaking the local language. He wants witnesses for this.
Shaw will look up at the building and be like, I'm sure that is absolutely not what Mac meant. I think you're doing a wonderful job. I desperately appreciate the job that you're doing. It's very important, and we appreciate it very, very much. Please keep doing it.
Seems if I were to follow the same principles that this friend of yours does, I'd have to ask you to pay me to keep doing this.
You know, I think if you do want payment, I would talk to Karen. She definitely is the one who is most in charge of keeping order around here, and I think that she probably has a budget for that.
Oh, that's true. She's the head of your homeowners association, right?
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like a good idea.
I would. Yes. I mean, she comes by here with the child or children, at least during school hours.
Those of you who are actually, if you happen to look up in the direction of the cul-de-sac, you can very, very, very vaguely see the outline of Karen and the child. They're out. Apparently, they are at they're next to an ice cream truck. And there's actually a second child up there, which I think Shaw has seen before. That's up there and is very excitedly hopping up and down next to the ice cream truck. As that's going on. But in any case, sorry, it's just that's there. So Switch says. So Switch says, "Okay, all right, that's worth a favor. That's worth a favor. I can actually I can use that because Karen really should be budgeting stuff like this. This kind of thing does, I think, very much fall under her jurisdiction, so this is a thing she needs to take care of."
I agree. It definitely seems important for the director of the homeowners association. When I see her, I'll let her know that you need to talk to her about the unpaid stability bill.
All right, so if you all go out and find the foreman, I will owe you. I will give you a favor.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we better get on that. Thanks a lot, Switch. He's gonna just tuck Shaw's sleeve.
Shaw's just gonna wander off.
Yeah. Like, yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Out of the radius of this thing.
I will say that Mac will understand, having had goetic training, that what this thing has just agreed to do is to give a favor to any one of you, so it's more of a pool thing rather than specifically for Mac.
Yes, I will share with the party.
Well, it has kind of this sense of justice. this thing.
It's true.
Strange kaleidoscopic thing. But,
So, yeah, apparently the foreman's missing. And
Really?
went off in the direction of the night circus and or the fair.
Okay. And somehow the
Oh.
crystal is going to help us smell him out?
I don't know, I'm just spitballing here.
I'll get the crystal and put it in my pocket, and then we can both look for the foreman and talk to the mime and try to look for gold. And with all that looking for other things, we're bound to find the missing street.
See,
I'll be
now-
right back.
For
that
what
just
it's
sounds like we're
worth-
still planning on finding the missing street.
Damn it.
What it's worth, the mime works at the night circus.
So we're gonna go. Okay, I like this plan. We're going to go to the night circus, and we're going to go question a person who does not actually speak.
Yes.
Sounds like Saturnine. All right. Well, our business in here around here is concluded. Let's be off and find this guy.
Definitely.
I'll go grab
want
the
to
crystal and then come back.
you go and get the crystal.
I
There's,
think antagonizing spirits is going to be Mac's thing.
Aroshka, is your friend nice? I've never. How do you tell if they're nice if they never speak?
Well, I mean, they put up with me regularly when I show up. As long as I sit on the stage with them and pretend there's an audience, they'll let me do pretty much anything I want. So it seems nice
Oh,
to me, anyways. They listen
I-
to me and they
am I-
nod at the appropriate times.
mm-hmm. Am I nice?
You're
No,
very.
no. I would say eccentric at best.
Hmm. You think the same thing, Aroshka? I'm not nice.
Well, you're very. Agreeable's not the right word. You're very willing to do stuff with us.
Interesting. Not quite agreeable.
So I think
I
that
just said agreeable
sorry.
wasn't quite the right word. It's close though.
I think
Good
you
to
you have some charm.
I want to hang out with you. That's something right there.
Hmm. That is something.
Yes.
Totally something. I mean, yesterday or a couple of days ago, you forgot who you were. So,
Indeed.
awkward.
Yeah, think about this time the elevator comes back out from the mine.
We're all just standing around, like, awkwardly staring at one another.
She just like walks up. She's like, I found the crystalline, and looks at all of you. It's like, I don't want to know. Are we going to the night circus?
Well, we're going to talk to the mime that works at the night circus. He's not there at the moment on account of because it's daytime.
Oh. Well, I guess there's no point in going to the night circus during the day. Lead on, Aroshka.
So we go to the it's in the same neighborhood as we've been in, but it's like this really like sort of crumbling old theater. And while you're going in, Aroshka's gonna be like, so the rule is that you have to pretend like there's an audience. There's not, but just pretend there is one, and all will be well.
Oh, so this is off Broadway. Got it.
Yeah, something like that. Just, make sure you cheat out and, pause at appropriate moments for the fake audience to clap, et cetera, et cetera.
I never did theater.
That's okay. He doesn't care how good you are. You just have to make an effort.
Okay.
So you walk into this place. And you see that you sort of go past these. There are these. It's this very old, dilapidated theater. There are these sort of kind of. There are. I feel like there are tarps thrown over some things, and so there's like a piece of detached curtain hanging down from the balcony. That there's like balcony seating, and then there's regular seating, and then there are box seats on either side. Looks like it might have been a very nice theater at one time. There is, I think there's a chandelier that is actually down in the audience area. Like either it fell there or it was lowered. It's hard to say which, because it's been sitting there for quite a while. Clearly, either way. But you see sort of a bit of a ways in front of it, there is this table draped across a few of the seats in the audience, so kind of like a would be for like technical rehearsals. There are a couple of spotlights that are on and pointed at the stage. You have some stage lights that are on. They're kind of low at the moment. And you can hear this sort of minimalist music playing as you come in. You're not sure where the music is coming from. But it's very much a sort of a slow sort of... etc., etc. And the occasional sound of a cat. You see there's what looks like a cardboard cutout of a tree on the stage, and a cardboard cutout of a mailbox a bit of a ways away from it. And you don't see anyone right now on the stage, but you feel as though something is happening.
So do we just have to go on stage and enter the scene?
Yeah. Yes. It's basically
You don't
it.
sound very confident about that.
No, yes, that is how we usually do. We just usually go on stage. He'll show up.
So are we all going to go up there, or just you?
Well, if you want to speak to him, operative word there being two, then you should come with me, because if you're in the audience, he will ignore you.
Oh, so just like the shadow.
I would like to see this mine.
I mean, you can see him from the audience. It's just if you want to interact with him, you have to come with me.
All right.
I'm just gonna start heading towards the stage. You can come with me, or you can stay there.
Just follow.
Mac's just gonna go just follow. Just gonna hop on stage, or is there a stairwell?
There's like a stair off to one side, and there's like on stage. There's like a fake sitting room.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a real sitting
behind.
room.
It's behind where the tree and stuff are.
Is Mac gonna enter as if he's going under some ropes?
You can.
I guess he's just going to. It's not a wrestling ring. I mean, come on. Mac is going to climb up onto the stage, but he's going to pretend he's swinging a door open as he gets to the top and enter.
I'm going to draw a card. Oh, dear.
You have a mind to love it, or
Oh no.
Well, this will be interesting.
What have we done?
Okay. So, the card is the Jackal. This is the Nemesis of Mysteries. I don't think we've had the Jackal yet. I don't think we have. Intimidation, power, ruthlessness, dark magic, necromancy, those are its meanings. This intimidating fellow is a dread figure to be certain. The Jackal represents everything nuns fear about Vizsla, threatening displays of destructive power, dark, soul-twisting spells, ruthless, unforgiving magic that taps into death, demons, and worse. Power for power's sake. He is selfish. He's a selfish, megalomaniacal figure, willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. The Jackal is the nemesis of the Mysteries family. Many believe, however, that he is a literal being and not just a symbol on a card. Some believe all the royalty cards show real immortal beings. If he is real, he is some kind of diabolic figure that not only uses dark magic, but offers it to others willing to use his methods. In divination, while most see the Jackal as a dire omen of dark magic and ruthlessness, some embrace the power he represents. To be certain, this card turn can be a threat, or it can be an offer. The person in question may want to take precautions against the effects of hexes or other dangerous magic, the intervention of demonic spirits, or simply an angry Vizsla. The Jackal can, in some instances, be equated to any figure in power, not just magical power or authority, but even then, usually only to a ruthless or intimidating figure. So
that sounds good.
you open this door, and you head onto the stage. And,
Anybody else here crash test dummies?
Is everyone on stage?
Yeah, Shaw will follow on stage behind everyone, but she's gonna look real nervous, and she's gonna be like right as far off stage as she can be while still being on stage.
Shantano's gonna walk up. He's gonna kind of look out into the audience and give a short wave and keep going.
So, the moment the last person steps onto the stage, whether that be Shah or Shantano, the music changes a little bit, and you hear it's kind of like a couple of piano keys being played, and it didn't look as though there was anything behind the tree. But leaping out from behind the tree now is this figure in a cape and a top hat and a very just sort of clown white face, and it has a big handlebar mustache and possibly fangs. and it leaps out like this, and you hear "Dana" as it does so. And it begins walking toward you like this.
And
I don't think this was in the script.
I scoot back a little bit. Arashka, is this your friend?
This is, yes,
when
different every
When-
time.
when it jumps out, Shantano does his defensive splintering.
Wait, what are you using?
Essentially, it gives me +1 to defense. I just splinter to a bunch of fragments.
Excellent. So he steps out and he immediately goes, and he immediately covers his face. He like pulls his cape up. He's like, as these splinters, and the music seems to be accompanying whatever it is that he does, sort of changing and adjusting. Certainly now faster piano music that sounds kind of like silent film music.
So Mac is going to reach behind his into his back, and he's going to pull out his retractable baton. I was like, well, it appears we have a bit of a confrontation going on.
No, he just different entrance every single time. It was a really fantastic entrance. We're not here to fight. We're here. We have some questions. Friend.
Well, I mean, he just caused Shantano to fall to pieces.
I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose. And I direct this really loudly, like in the direction of the mime, like,
He's very like, he's looking at you very suspiciously, sort of darting back and forth. And he goes back, sort of, he's backing up toward the tree, kind of like this.
He doesn't usually get guests that aren't me.
I would have reformed immediately after I exploded. I was like, so that wasn't an attack, okay.
No, we're friends. He just likes to be dramatic. That's sort of his whole thing. Drama.
So
Dear.
do we have to be part of the story he's playing?
No, you just have to face the audience as if you were in this story. You don't have to put any effort into it, really. I mean, you can if you want to. I'm sure he'd love that.
So, Mac's just gonna be like,
It's just doing that.
well, okay. So Mac is just going to do a martial arts flourish with his baton, twirling it a little bit, and then sort of assume a Power Rangers type end stance, as if he was about to face off against the mime, and okay, I can see how this thing can be fun.
The moment you start doing that, he's like, he leaps and he's like going backwards and forth along the audience vision plane, basically. Just sort of, it actually looks slightly like it's a mix between, it actually looks kind of like the hammer dance a little bit, but for the part of it, as he's kind of just sort of weaving his hands back and forth.
Yeah. Show us what you have done with the foreman.
How do you usually talk to him, Aroshka?
Well, usually it's just me doing the talking. You can play charades with him. I think that's what's happening right now.
So he's saying he captured the foreman, killed him, and buried him under the stage.
No, I don't.
He goes
think
back
that's-
behind the tree. He's
No,
looking at you.
no.
He's looking at you from behind the tree. He's like,
Am I reading that wrong?
Think maybe he's hiding? Oh, you hid him. He's hidden. No. He is hidden, but you didn't hide him.
He's scheming?
He passes behind the tree. When he comes out the other side, he looks different. He's no longer wearing the black cape. You start hearing basically Entrance of the Gladiators. I think that's the name of the song playing. It's the circus music. He is now dressed as a clown.
Oh, great.
That's a circus.
He has he now has this big sort of red hair and the nose.
Oh my god, did he run off to
out.
join the circus?
Or he is the circus.
He's capturing something.
He got captured by the
He's been
circus.
captured by the circus.
Hmm.
Well, that's what you get for hanging out with tourists. Oh, sorry. She turns towards the audience. That is what you get for hanging out with tourists.
You can swear you very faintly hear some laughter as he's here leaning on nothing.
So I'm guessing we're going to have to go to the circus to bail him out of trouble.
Are we doing that first, or are we doing our gardening first?
I think that this is the higher priority assignment. I mean, Shaw's mine is at stake, as is Karen's cul-de-sac.
I mean, that is true. I imagine that our friend could keep the Foreman's Tower up for a while, but I mean, I suppose it is the most pressing issue. Except that we don't really know. I mean, I guess that stasis chamber can hold him for a while. Friendly clown, do you happen to do a lot of traveling with the circus? Do you travel to other suns?
Please forgive me. He leaps up into the air and begins pedaling as though on a bicycle. Nothing is holding him up but the power of his imagination. As he is now doing he is now circling around you as though riding a bicycle.
I'm going to say that's a yes.
I think that's a yes. We captured a villain, clown, that needs to go back to the light of the gold sun because that villain has been villainous there.
He hops off of the imaginary bicycle. He runs over to the tree. He doesn't pass by it. He reaches behind the tree. He pulls out the top hat and he looks at you questioningly, holding the top hat toward you.
He wants a donation.
No, it's not held in. It's not held down. It's held up.
I go look in the hat. Is it just darkness?
No, it's just a hat. It's just a hat. He's just holding.
Holding it like this way, like
Yeah, he's holding it.
He's just holding it.
Yeah, he's holding it, and when you mention a villain, he's like, and he's just sort of questioningly looking at you and looking at the hat.
I don't know what kind of villain he is precisely. He's a bit of more of a stabby villain.
He runs back. He puts the hat back wherever he got it from. He takes out what looks like a sword, and he comes up to you, and he makes as if to hand the hilt to you. It's actually more like a dagger, a long dagger.
Oh, okay. Am I supposed to act out the villain? I am not the villain.
Wait, this is the villain you cut down with your battle fan, right?
Yes.
Oh, here, I'll take it, and he'll take the he'll take the dagger. And go, let's reenact it.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
So you jump in through the window.
Okay. So he's going to run behind the tree, or Mac's going to run behind the tree, look for something to sort of spring off of, and land in front of Shaw with the dagger out threateningly.
Arushka, you be your friend, the Vance.
Oh, yes. Isabella.
Yes.
Yes.
So I will sort of put my arm in front of Arushka and say, "It's going to be okay." Then I will pull out my battle fan.
Oh, should I take out my coin right now?
No, let's leave that part out.
Okay.
Yes, we're just pretending. And then I do a fancy swish spin with the battle fan.
Yeah, and so Mac is going to really sell it. He's going to twist in the air with the slash as if he was, getting like turned inside out, and then he's going to just face plant on the ground, and then he's going to sort of flick the knife so that it skitters across the stage really loudly in dramatic fashion.
Nice. So, after a moment, you look up and he's like, he's changed again. He is sitting in what looks like a director's chair. He's now wearing a beret, and a sort of a tweed jacket, and gloves, and those pants that with the very wide sort of pocket areas. That I forget what those had a purpose at one time. I can't remember. They looked like riding pants. Directors used to wear them. And he's like,
Oh, jodhpurs.
He stands up. He just sort of walks over.
Oh, and then I will kneel down and look Mac in the face and say, oh, "My goodness, this would be the creature that hath betrayed the gold. We must return this creature there."
So Mac is going to sort of cross his arms in front of his chest as if he was in stasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curl up into a little ball and just be like, "Oh."
And you can swear you hear you can hear applause, just a little bit coming from the audience, and the mime is just sort of takes off his hat, and you can kind of see his clothes sort of melting into black. This is sort of his turning. He's returning to base mime, base mime form, and he just kind of sort of wanders around, and from behind the tree, he pulls this golden orb, and he hefts it up into the air, and it sort of just stays there for a moment, and he points up at it, and he's like, and he points at you, and then he points at it, questioningly.
Yes. We're hoping that we can take this creature to the gold.
he goes back behind the tree. And he comes out, and he is wearing he's dressed kind of like a sea captain. He has the sort of the white flat cap and the blue jacket, and the lined shirt, and he has a fake gray beard. As he comes out, and he pretends to be steering, basically around the stage for a moment. And then he steers basically over toward the floating orb and stops under it.
I guess that means he can take us there.
No, wait. No, I can't break character.
And he stops.
Are you saying that we should go take a boat, or are you saying that you can take us there? You can take us there. Huh. Do you have to leave from here?
And he's basically he pretends to be steering this boat around again.
Okay.
And then he comes back. And he like I don't know if I can do this properly. He points to the captain's hat.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're disembarking. Are we already going?
He points to himself, he points to all of you, and he points out.
Oh,
We have to start elsewhere.
yes. Well, we'd have to go by the mine and pick up the villain. Can we leave from the mine? No.
I think he has a ship
He
at
has
the
a ship.
harbor.
Well,
At
we
the harbor.
specifically have to leave on the ship.
Oh. Oh.
Okay. Well, where is your ship located?
Oh, great.
I'm so sorry. I made up this character, and now you have to mime everything for it.
I guess you could narrate the miming, but where would
could.
that be?
I know, right? Where did it? I had it on the right page there. Wait, let me find it. Here we go. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to describe this in mime. I can't. He pulls out a compass. This big, oversized compass suddenly out of his pocket. And you see that the compass is pointing northeast. It actually spins around and then it points northeast. It's a big boat compass, and it points northeast.
All right. Shall we meet you there, or shall we meet you here? Or do you want to come with us?
So you live in Saturnine. You would know there is a dock off of the Unfathomable Archipelago. That's usually where the sun ships take off from. But he does have a boat, apparently, if you were reading him right.
I'm sure if we ask around, we can find the mimes boat.
The mimes.
How many boat captains also double as
Our
mime?
mimes.
Hmm.
Probably one, but that's the sort of assumption that, well, you know.
He does this thing, and a card appears in his hand.
Take the card.
It has basically it has a sort of one of those combination comedy tragedy masks on it. So one half is smiling, the other half is frowning. It's split down the middle. One half is white, the other half is black.
Does it say anything on the card?
No, but Aroshka would know that is his business card.
So maybe we just show that to the harbor master, and they'll show us to that ship.
I think we can figure it out.
Can we close the curtains now? I kind of want to get off this floor.
I think we all take a bow, and then we help Mac up off the ground so that Mac can also take a bow.
There you hear this like, and then the curtains lower, seemingly of their own accord. And when they do that, actually, yeah, you see, for a moment, you see him just like, he lights a cigarette. Or
Good
pretends
shot.
to light a cigarette. He's not actually smoking a cigarette. There is smoke, but he's not actually smoking a cigarette. There's nothing in his hand.
Well, truly, this is art in its purest form.
And he sort of claps Mac on the back.
See, I can make friends.
You're doing a wonderful job.
He goes actually around behind you, and he takes nothing out of his pocket, and he kind of sort of aims down and kind of as though he's trying to pose with you.
Finger guns, winking smile. Like,
You
yeah,
hear-
filthy time.
You hear a click, and and then he puts the not phone back in his pocket.
Don't forget to tag me when you post it to social media.
It's going right to the noosphere. Anyway.
Well, I suppose we should gather our things and head down to the dock. How long is this trip anyway?
Jim consults the book. Oh, that's right. It's the speed of plot.
Beat of plot.
A 3-hour tour.
Wow. Exactly how long it takes.
Five hours? Well, okay. We're going from coast to coast. Not bad. We allowed to bring carry-ons? No,
Our things.
our things.
Okay.
Okay,
Great. Shall we all meet at the dock then?
I think so.
Say 30 minutes? 1 hour?
Yeah, more or less. I just got to gather some things at the hostel before I head out.
Sounds good to me.
You agree to meet at a roughly specified amount of time.
Right.
And as you are basically, as the camera pulls back from the theater, we can hear sort of the echoes of people filing out. And I think that is where we are going to end this evening. So there we are. Apparently there's a course of action that has been laid in. And
Confusing one, but
a very confusing one. I'm going to have to think on this a little bit. I'm going to have to look through things. I don't think they thought to put not tackling the problem as a way to tackle the problem. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll figure it out. So we're going to go around. We're going to do our outros for this. And once again, say where folks can find you and any thoughts about this session. And we will start with Anino.
Hey, my name's Anino. You can find me on Anino Gaming on Twitter. That's where you can keep up with me and such. This was very, very, very interesting. Kudos to Jim and his mimery. Or pantomime. I never really thought that we would end up on a ship captained by Albert Alexander. But here we are. So
That song does not end well.
I think it's right. No, it doesn't. But and kudos to Arras who came up with this character. So
thus forcing the GM to spend like 30 minutes pretending to be a mime.
I have not mimed for a while, but I did actually. I will reveal that I did do it in school once years ago. As a wee lad.
Sweet lad.
And always had slight tendencies in that direction since then. Not terribly strong tendencies, slight tendencies, but these happen. But I'm sorry, it was.
yeah, that's it. You can catch me on Tuesday again on this channel for the third episode of Amber Diceless, where I play a wandering monk dressed in plaid. That's it. That's all I got.
Tartaned monks. Yes. Excellent.
Just in plaid.
Well, and let us move on to Arras.
Hello, I am Arras, or Animus Panthera. The only place you can find me playing tabletop games at the moment is right here. But I can be found on Twitter. I'm a real-life zoologist. I love talking about animals, games, cosplay, all that great jazz. I'm delighted that my mime friend actually came up in this game and wasn't just sort of a thing that existed. Forced everyone to be like, look at my friend, he's cool, and everyone's like,
Nice. Let us and Wilde.
Yes, hi, I'm Wilde Engineer. I'm at Wilde Engineer on Twitter. You can catch me on Saturdays before here on Greyhawk channel for some D&D BX. There are like 2 more episodes. On Mondays on Welcome to the Party for our finale this upcoming week. And yeah, well, I was saying this is a really fun episode. It's good to know that Chantinel's personality is known as not quite agreeable. It's really important to know, you know.
Excellent.
We're bonding.
but it's not quite agreeable, but I choose to hang out with you on purpose.
Yes, and that is indeed something.
Indeed.
Oh, man.
Djinnaya. Hello. My name is Djinnaya, and I make art and play good games with nice people. And you can find me on Twitter at Djinnaya, and I don't usually plug my Instagram, but I'm about to take off for the Disney Expo. So if you are into pictures, Instagram stories of people's cosplay in the Disney direction, that would be a good thing to follow for the next week or so. Yeah, and that's me. As far as the game, gosh, I have a lot of thoughts. One, I'm really tickled by what a band of socially awkward misfits we've turned out to be. Like, I intentionally wanted to create this character with a lot of social anxiety, but the fact that everybody just has this awkwardness is so good. And I really do believe that this abandoned theater is the most gym setting in Saturain that could possibly exist. I'm really pleased. And there were way too many paths to go down, and I'm having a lot of FOMO right now about how many different paths there were to go down. But yeah.
There's a lot. There are a lot of options right now.
I know.
Oh, yes.
It's like we're magic. Can't we just like stop time, go to the gold, come back, start time, go here, come back, and like do all three paths?
I don't see why not. You just have to put all of Saturain into the stasis chamber. That's all you have to do.
It's a plan.
It's totally a plan. Excellent. I am here for it. But once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimmyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, and YouTube channel. This session was delightful. I didn't think there would be this much miming in the game, but here we are. Here we are. I knew it to be a possibility. And so we shall see where this goes. But here on this channel, on Sundays, we do one-shots. The one-shot tomorrow is a setting I put together for Savage Worlds that I call Mythic Rome. I found out there is another setting that actually was published for another game called Mythic Rome. So it is not that. It is, in fact, this is ancient Rome, but there are just basically mythological creatures who live in society along with the Romans. So we're playing that tomorrow, the first of two one-shots. Then Tuesday, as already mentioned, we have the third episode of our Amber Diceless campaign, our short campaign we're doing this month. I have not run Amber regularly for quite a while, but it is an addiction, and anyone who tunes in will get to find out why. At least why it's an addiction for me. On Fridays, I am over on Off the Table playing in their 1890s Urban Shadows campaign. Things are heating up crazily there, and there's conflict coming. So we're getting very close, I think, to the end of the season there. Then, of course, Saturday, 1 week from today, we will have more of this. We shall have more Invisible Sun, and we shall see what happens. I think we're hopping on a boat to the gold. That seems to me to be what's happening. As far as sign-ups go, sign-ups are still open for anyone who wants to get in on... We do have slots still open for Mythic Rome. I probably won't see it in time for adding in anyone for tomorrow, but I think we do still have a slot or two open for a week from tomorrow, so if anyone wants to hop in on that, sign-up is still open on the sign-up page for that. Also, sign-ups are open right now for next month's short campaign, which is going to be Mashed. That is it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game about the Korean War. It's about being in a mobile army surgical hospital. It is not the TV show, but one can imagine there was a good deal of inspiration from it for this game. It's very sort of a very sort of heavy drama, personal drama type game, which I'm very interested in seeing how things go with it, so I'm very excited to try it out. So sign-ups are open for that until the 28th. So there's still time, but if you want to take a look at that, you can either go down to the sign-up link down below, or you can go to jimmyesthatjim.com, click on Game Sign Up, and take a look. There's more info on the sign-up form from the page that you get to from there. You just click on Mashed and you'll get there. Or click where it says to click. Click here, it says. And as always, beginners are welcome. So, when we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid over to Variant Roles, because if you would like more Invisible Sun, it's happening over there. They're now playing what looks like a drama called As the Suns Burn. Looks like it's part one of an arc they're calling In the Red, so I can only imagine how terrifying it must be getting very soon if they are going to the red. If you are so inclined, feel free to stick around and say hi to them when we hop over. Again, that will be at the end card. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, folks. Take care, and I shall see you next week. Farewell.